Pretty nice. It's New Year. Happy New
A happy
Year.
new year.
Okay, all right. So it's good to have you again.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll try to go ahead and try to answer some more questions today. Let's do something different. Let's
Okay.
try to use some of the questions from the book
Mhm.
just to, do something different today.
Okay.
Let's do part two questions. Hmm. Okay, how did you spend your holiday? Did you do something special for this New Year?
Fortunately, I had to work both
New Year?
yes, December 31 and
Uh-huh.
for the January 1.
Uh-huh.
So I went concert, a Korean singers concert on the last
Uh-huh.
day of the last year. That was
Ah,
really nice.
okay. Nice. All right. Okay, exactly. You know what? In the Philippines, if you're a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
um, you don't want to be on the PM shift every December 31.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, December 31 and January 1. But first of all, December 31. Why? Because usually
Mm-hmm.
uh, the 11/7
Mm-hmm.
nurse will always be absent
Oh
because they're too busy partying and they don't want to go to work. So if
yeah,
you're the
right.
PM shift, like the 311 shift,
Mm-hmm.
you will continue until the morning.
Wow.
If the next nurse is absent, then you will have to do 16 hours.
Wow. Is it
So
possible?
yeah, that's
Is it
possible
legal?
in the Philippines. It's
Oh
legal in the Philippines.
wow.
So being a nurse in the Philippines is wow. It's
Yeah.
one hell of a job.
Wow.
And as you know, firecrackers or the firecrackers like the one they use during New Year, the noisy ones, they
Mm-hmm.
light it, bang, and it explodes. There's a lot of accidents like that. So
Oh.
if you're an emergency nurse, there will be a lot of patients
Yeah,
in
right.
December 31. So
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, actually, I was day shift yesterday.
Uh-huh.
In my emergency department, during 8 hours, we have about 150 patients in
I
just
really.
yeah, in just 8 hours.
Oh my
It
God.
was so
Oh
busy.
my. How many nurses in the emergency ward?
Yesterday we had 10 nurses, um,
Uh-huh.
but my position was how can I say? I had to classify every patient who
So
are in the
triage.
yeah, right. Yeah, so
So
I
you
had
have.
to triage 150 patients in just 8 hours.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
right? That's why I hate ER.
yeah.
In Singapore, if it's morning, because I work in the medical ward,
Mm-hmm.
um, we have 60 patients,
Mm-hmm.
usually 60 bed capacity
Oh.
for that ward only, so
Mm.
60 for medical, and then in the morning we have maybe six nurses, seven, so that's
Oh.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
But at night we
Mm-hmm.
only have two,
Wow.
two for 60. So and usually in that area there's no doctor
Oh.
in that ward. If it's night duty, there's no doctor
Mm.
because only for in case of emergency they will run. So there's no doctor in the ward. Usually
Mm.
they are all in the emergency or
Oh.
operating room. They're all there, but there's no doctor in the medical ward. Only if
Oh.
you need them, you need to call them. To hello, please
Mm.
come to the medical ward. So if it's and it will take maybe 10 minutes for them to come. or
Mm,
5 minutes the fastest one because it's a big hospital. So
mm,
sometimes the doctors are always away. So I hate night shift during that time.
oh,
Only two nurses and sometimes a lot of critical. Someone is dying or someone is. Yeah, I have to run.
mm,
Ah, I have to.
mm,
It's stressful,
yeah.
but it's okay. I want to be a nurse again.
But during these holidays, I felt frustrated
Uh
because
huh.
my friends and families are in travel. They
Yeah.
celebrated the New Year with watching the sunrise. But I was
Yeah.
just sitting in my hospital. In
Uh,
so I thought about my job again.
oh yeah, exactly. I think nurses doesn't have like holiday that much,
Yes.
right? Being a nurse, you should work on holidays.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not like a teacher where there's no classes, so you can go home. A
Yeah. Right.
government officer who do office works, they can go home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Being a nurse is different. You know what? Yeah. Even me when I worked in Singapore as a nurse, the problem is you cannot go on leave together.
Mhm.
Like for example, me and my coworker and then another coworker. So for example, in one one wing. So for example, wing A, hospital A. Okay,
Mhm.
there are like 70 nurses.
Mm.
Okay, so um, for example, uh, they cannot go on leave. For example, this is a how many ward? Ward A, medical, surgery,
Mhm.
orthopedic, emergency, pedia, and then OB.
Mhm.
OB. So there's a lot of department. So for example, in this you have 10 nurses.
Mhm.
You can only go and leave maybe two nurses in 1 month. So you
Mm.
cannot go together. If your friends, hey, let's go on a vacation or
Oh.
leave. So they cannot go together. Usually
Oh.
one or two nurses only every month,
Wow.
so that the staff will not be affected.
Mm.
So that's a big problem because
Yeah.
sometimes it's Christmas, people want to go
Yeah. Right.
on vacation, right? But only one person can do it. Like, yeah,
Mm.
next year you can go further. I have to wait for another year. So crazy.
Oh.
Being a
Yeah.
nurse is very difficult, right?
Yeah. Right.
Mm, okay. All right. So let's go ahead and forget those problems.
Okay.
Let's answer some questions instead.
Okay.
All right. So, why don't you describe to me a restaurant or cafe you
Mhm.
particularly like? And you should say what the restaurant is like, what kind of food it serves, and what kind of people usually go there, and why
Okay.
you like this restaurant.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll give you a minute to think about this question.
Mhm.
All right, your 1 minute starts now. Okay, time's up.
Okay.
All right, so you will have 2 minutes again
Mm-hmm.
to answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
Talk as much as you can with moderate speed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
not too fast and not too slow.
Okay.
Okay, please go ahead and start.
Mm-hmm. For me, the name of this place is Kongguri, and it is a kind of pub instead of a restaurant.
Mhm.
It has several sort of food, from Korean food, Chinese food, and fusion style food. So
Mhm.
it has really diverse food. It doesn't have any limitations regarding the visitors, but since it is a pub, only above 12, 20 years old people can visit there because it sells alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why I love this place is every food in there is really tasty and delicious. And also the owner in there is really hospitable
Mhm.
to every customers. Um,
Mm.
and since I am frequently visit there, um,
Mhm.
he gives me a lot of free food, which is on the table, which is on the house.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, nice.
yeah. Um, and it is the place is nearby my hospital, so it is
Uh-huh.
really good place to relieve my stress after working.
Uh-huh. Oh, nice.
Um,
All right. What else can you say?
um, and also the food in there is not that expensive; it's affordable. So I don't have any pressures when I purchase the food, when I buy the. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
that's it.
So you still have 10 seconds, but that's
uh,
okay. All right. Uh, wow, that seems good because it's near your workplace. Do you
yeah.
know, have you seen the American series Grey's Anatomy?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I watched that.
And yeah,
Yeah,
usually they have like a pub near their hospital where
yeah,
they
you're
they go
right.
out and drink afterwards.
You're
So I imagine that while you were telling
right.
this story, maybe it's something near the hospital, some
Oh,
point. So it's really nice.
yeah.
Okay. Cool, cool. Really cool. Mm. All right. Next. Uh, by the way, feedback, very short
Mhm,
feedback. I
mhm,
think, very small grammar slips, but the good thing is that you go back to try to correct them,
mm,
or even vocabulary slips, like if you say hospital, hospitable,
yeah, right.
or uh, on the table or on the house. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you try to correct. That's a good thing, if you correct yourself
Mhm.
during your IELTS test, it's gonna be better.
Ah, okay.
And during your IELTS test, you will only see this question for 1 minute.
Mhm.
Then after that, they will get the paper, so
Mm,
you won't see it already. So it's very important to also listen and um,
mm,
try to memorize the question so that you
mm,
will be able to see it. Every question in part one, it's not written, so it's only through listening style. So one
mhm,
time we'll try to do some part one questions without a script so that
mm.
you will be able to improve your listening. So you will only see this particular page
Ah,
next
okay.
time. All
Okay.
right, because listening is also important.
Yeah, right.
All right. So we'll try to do that next meeting.
Mhm,
All right. Question number two here. Describe to me your childhood. You should say where you grew up, what you remember the most about your childhood, and what you did most of the time when you were young. Is there a continuation of this question? No, none. So it's only this part.
mhm,
Okay. So I will give you 1 minute to look at this question and study properly,
Mm-hmm.
and please make use of your time. 1 minute starts now. Okay, time is up. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so let's go ahead and answer this question. Again, you have 2 minutes.
Okay.
Try to slow down a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, just a little bit, because your speed is already good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so just
Okay.
a little bit slowing. Maybe with that we can adjust your time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your 2 minutes starts now.
Mm-hmm. Um, when I was young, I grew up in Seoul, and I'm still living in there. Um,
Mm,
I think I was not a normal girl when I was young, because most of my girlfriends prefer to play with dolls, and they just want to play like girls,
mhm,
girls items like accessories and dolls and some some toy things. But for me,
mhm,
I prefer to play some activity things like ball playing. So um, I think I usually played with boys instead of
mhm,
girlfriends. Um,
mhm,
and I think I had a lot of curiosity regarding so many things. So I have an experience that um, um, actually my father was smoke when I was young, but even though he quit these days, but
mhm,
every time I saw my father was smoking, I
mhm.
really curious the taste of the how can I
The
say,
cigarette.
yeah, right, the cigarette. But I don't have any cigarettes, so I just decide to make that my own. So I brought some papers and roll them together
Uh-huh.
and put a fire on it. So so I um uh, I um ho- and I tried it like my father.
Okay,
And
time's up.
oh
Sorry.
really?
I forgot to tell you because I was listening to your story. So,
uh,
yeah, you were trying to roll the paper and trying to smoke it,
yeah, smoke
put
it.
it on fire.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But but at first time,
Uh-huh.
after first time, I did cough a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the smoke.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It's dangerous.
so I never do smoking after that. I think that was a
Ah,
good experience in my life because I just don't like it. Yeah, because of that
yeah.
experience, I never smoke.
Very good. Good job. Good
Yeah,
job. You know. Plus it's you're a nurse.
yeah,
It's such a contradicting. It's contradicting if you're a nurse then you're smoking.
yeah, right.
Uh, yeah, but a lot of my coworkers are smoking
Mm.
in the hospital. Even
Mm.
though even some doctors, me
Mm.
myself, but it's good I was able to quit.
Mm. Oh,
So
did you
good
quit?
thing.
Oh.
I quit. More than a year now.
Mm.
I haven't smoked any cigarette.
Oh.
hmm So it's not good. You
What
know.
made you
Uh,
quit the smoke?
my son,
Oh.
of course.
Wow.
Because I grew up in a household where all of my families or
Mm-hmm.
family members were smoking. My father, my mother, my grandmother, they were
Mm.
all smoking. So uh, now I think everyone is smoking, even my two brothers.
Mm.
So that's why I don't want that my son will see me ever
Mm.
to smoke because
Oh.
uh, I don't want to show him that it's correct or it's right.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
acceptable to smoke. So yeah, I said I stopped, and it's the best decision ever
Yeah, I
because
think so.
my body became stronger.
Oh.
You know, I can run,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I think uh, my teeth is better
Oh.
compared to normal because if you smoke, then your teeth are usually different in color,
Yeah, right.
and food tastes better.
Oh,
Mm.
really?
Yeah, if you're
Oh.
smoking, then I think food, the smoke also destroys your taste buds or your taste. Um,
Mm.
so when I stop smoking, your my nostrils are clearer,
Mm.
so I can breathe a lot, so I can taste better as well.
Mm.
So I think it has an effect. So I love food now.
Mm.
Food is my new addiction. That's why. Actually, I'm eating before our class.
Oh,
So
really?
I was having some
Oh, what is that?
noodles here, some
Oh.
chicken, some like japchae, something like
Oh.
that.
Did you cook by yourself?
No, you just order it, some
Ah.
shrimp.
Ah, wow.
So
That
breakfast.
looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. So if sometimes I will not say that it's easy, but sometimes I still want to smoke.
Mm.
But I try to control and try to think of my son.
Mm.
So there you go. Let's do one more. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. We still have
Okay.
time, so let's do one more. One more question. Wait. Okay. Let's do. Let's do number four instead of number three. This number three is almost similar with number two. Okay, describe to me your favorite subject in your school.
Mm-hmm.
It can be high school, elementary, or anything. Even university if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
What it was, who taught it, and how it was taught, and explain why you think it is important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have 1 minute again. Your 1 minute starts now. Your mom? Is that your mom?
Ah.
All right. Okay. All right. So you have 1 minute. All
Mm-hmm.
right. 1 minute starts now.
Sorry, Brandon, but could you repeat the question again?
Okay.
Yeah.
This one. Describe your favorite subject
Mm-hmm.
in school,
Mm-hmm.
and you should say what is that subject,
Mm-hmm.
who taught it, and how it was taught in school.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and explain
Okay.
why you think it is important or your favorite. Okay, so
Okay.
you have 1 minute, and your 1 minute starts now.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute is over.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 2 minutes to talk about this,
Mm-hmm.
and your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay. When I was in middle school, my favorite
Mhm.
subject, I had two favorite subjects.
Mhm.
Those are English and physical activities. Actually, I don't know how to say this class in English, but
Mhm.
during the class we do physical activities like exercising or running, something like that.
That
Um,
is
uh-huh.
physical education. Mhm.
Okay, physical education. Mm,
Mhm.
Actually, my homeroom teacher
Okay.
majored English, so she was also English teacher, and she tried to
Mhm.
use several tools in class like singing or watching English videos and do some actions with another friends so that we can memorize some English sentences with fun. And that was really
Mhm.
effective. Um,
Effective.
yeah, effective
Mhm.
to every students because all of my friends enjoyed the class. Mm. And and
Mm.
also regarding the physical education, um, that was a kind of rest to the students because they always spend their class within classroom, so it might be boring for some. But
Mhm.
when we have physical education, we can do some activities in outdoors. So that is a really good chance to relieve the students' stresses. So
Okay.
yeah, so that was my favorite and also my
Okay.
um.
Time's up.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. Awesome. All right. So I think that was you're managing your time properly now. I think you can answer with proper timing.
Mm,
So I think it's really good. Okay, so we'll try to continue with
okay.
some other part two questions on our next meeting, okay?
Okay.
Since we don't have that much time now.
Okay.
All right, we'll catch up, G, and thank you for dropping to my
Okay.
class
Bye
today.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.